What if modern Cairo preserved ancient Egyptian architecture and aesthetics? Imagine an Egyptian neighborhood, a mall, a market, a subway station, or a campus, all built in ancient Egyptian architecture.
In this video, I'll try to present what I think is the blueprint for building the perfect city, one that includes indigenous architecture. I'll break down what I think are the key elements of success and bring them together into a complete vision.
So, let's begin. Cairo, a city founded in 969 CE, has served as the capital of Fatimid, Ayyubid, and Mamluk dynasties. And now, modern Egypt, located near the Nile Delta, it is the largest city in the Arab world. As of 2025, Greater Cairo has an estimated population of over 23 million, more than the combined populations of Romania and Croatia. This city covers an area approximately 2,734 square kilometers. But despite its size and rich history, much of Cairo today is feel trapped in a dystopian loop. Endless traffic chokes its streets, pollution hangs in the air like a permanent fog, and chaotic urban sprawl has swallowed its once vibrant neighborhoods. Public spaces are few and far between, sidewalks are disappearing and growing a sense of alienation haunts its crowded avenues. Perhaps the most tragic loss is its architectural identity. Outside a few preserved gems like the museum, mosques, or the historic old town, most of Cairo's buildings fail to reflect the country's extraordinary architectural legacy. Along the Nile, soulless glass towers dominate. In downtown, fading colonial Belle-Epoque buildings remain, and across working-class neighborhoods, irregular, unattractive concrete blocks sprawl in every direction. To address this, I studied what makes the world's most livable cities like Vienna, Singapore, etc., successful. Based on that, I've identified key ingredients that can make a city livable, sustainable, affordable, and economically vibrant. For a sprawling megacity like Cairo, their solution starts with better organization. The city should be divided into clearly planned zones, such as mixed-use residential and commercial zones, a central business district, and industrial zone. Within each zone, a grid-based layout should be used to ensure efficient navigation and access. But
Before I start with the mixed-use residential and commercial zone, let's start with the elephant of the room and the main reason why I start this channel in the first place, which is
architecture. Modern cities are soulless. Capitalism that led to colonialism and globalization has made our cities homogeneous concrete jungles. Most cities around the world have lost their unique identity, architectural style, and geographical character. That's why you can't tell Tokyo apart from Sao Paulo by just looking at the skyline. That's why this channel's ultimate goal is to promote indigenous architecture, a school of thought in the traditional architectural space called Indigenous Revival. This philosophy can fit in any design, be it minimalism, ornamental, traditional, or modern. It is the architectural style that should exist in our cities to bring back a sense of beauty, uniqueness, pride, and belonging. I'll try my best to show you how cities around the world could look like if this design philosophy were embraced. So make sure to subscribe and hit the notification button to not miss another video. Now, let's discuss Egyptian architecture. Egyptian architecture are divided into two main traditions. The first is Pharaonic architecture, characterized by pylons, pyramids, obelisks, columns, and capitals. The second one is Islamic. Egyptian Islamic architecture is characterized by arches, geometric patterns, mashrabiyas, and open courtyards. These two styles should be the foundation of architectural design in every Egyptian city because when Egyptians copy global trends or cling to colonial era buildings that were once used as a symbol of oppression, dehumanization, and Orientalism, they don't just lose beauty, they lose identity, heritage, and uniqueness. Why? Because architecture isn't just about buildings, it's a language. And when a city speaks in a foreign tongue, it loses what most cities around the world have lost, its soul. Now, let's move on to the working class neighborhood. According to Islamic tradition, a neighborhood is made up of around 40 buildings. In the context of Cairo, with its large population and urban sprawl, each neighborhood should be organized using a grid system for clarity and efficiency. Inside each neighborhood, it should include essential services such as a mosque, a Coptic church, a clinic, a school, and a social hall for weddings and public gatherings. The ground floor of every building should be reserved for commercial use, housing all types of shops, bakeries, barbershops, cafes, coffee houses, hair salons, phone shops, clothing stores, general stores, and any shops imaginable. In addition, each neighborhood should have community amenities such as a football pitch, playground for kids, a communal garden, public swimming pools, gyms, cinemas, bowling alleys, and lastly, hammams, aka traditional bathhouses. To keep housing affordable, residents should live in social or subsidized housing. The city should own or co-manages hundreds of thousands of apartments, keeping the rent low. According to the high-density nature of Cairo, buildings should be limited to 6 stories. The ground floor should serve as commercial zone, the first floor should be used for office space, and the upper floors will be affordable apartment units, and an open rooftop that should house a garden, a resting space, and a dovecote to keep the most popular Egyptian working-class pets, pigeons. Importantly, Airbnb-style rentals should be banned in these residential buildings to prevent gentrification and rent inflation. This model of mixed-use development is one of the key reasons why Japanese cities offer affordable housing. When commercial spaces are widely available, there is less pressure to raise residential rents. Within each neighborhood, the environment should be pedestrian-friendly, with wide, evenly spaced sidewalks. Roads should be well organized, and cars should be accommodated throughout underground parking garages or multi-story parking structures at designated points in the neighborhood. Effective government services should be readily available regardless of class, such as functioning police force, sewage system, functioning electricity with underground cables, functioning garbage collection system, water and natural gas. Each neighborhood must also be well connected, featuring access to the underground subway system, bus and tram station with a public transport system connecting to the whole city. Neighborhoods should be separated by multi-lane highways that serve as major arteries. These highways should be lined up with palm tree boulevards, native plants and flowering shrub, dedicated cycling lanes, tram lines, pedestrian walkways that connect all neighborhoods, and for car enthusiasts, a 3-lane highway in each road. To ensure visual harmony, all buildings in a neighborhood should share similar colors and architectural style. In Islamic neighborhood, it should reflect both ancient Egyptian and Islamic architecture. And in Coptic neighborhood, it should be exclusively indigenous Pharaonic architecture. This cohesive design not only enhances beauty but also attracts tourism, turning each neighborhood into a potential tourist destination and a source of economic vitality. Other spaces within the neighborhood district should be designated as market areas, featuring both traditional souks inspired by indigenous Egyptian architecture. Each souq should be unique in architecture and design, to give each souq a character for them to be iconic, beautiful, and world famous. Modern malls should be unique and diverse, with interiors and exteriors rooted in local aesthetic traditions. A stretch along the Nile should be allocated for hotel resorts, taking advantage of the scenic riverfront for riverfront hotels. In the outskirts of the district, a posh neighborhood should exist. The mansions and villas can be diverse in style and aesthetics, but should showcase indigenous luxury. An ancient Egyptian-inspired football stadium should be constructed at the heart of Cairo's neighborhood district, accompanied by other city necessities such as a university campus, a city hospital, museum, and the main public square, all thoughtfully designed with indigenous architectural styles both in their interiors and exteriors. Guys, if you want still pictures from this video, just tell me in the comments, I'll just send you a link. Now, let's move on to the central business district. A lot of YouTubers who talk about urban design are skeptical about skyscrapers. But the truth is, skyscrapers are necessary, especially for security and convenience of proximity to capital-intensive industries such as finance, banking, technology, media, publishing, professional services, government, and law. And I support skyscrapers if they are only found organized in a central business district and not at random. Because when designed thoughtfully and rooted in indigenous aesthetics, skyscrapers can serve as our modern landmark monuments, adding character to the city. In the case of Cairo, the central business district should be located along the Nile River. Each tower should feature tall, tapering forms inspired by ancient obelisks and pylons, with stepped and pyramidal tops, sandstone-colored facades, and intricate carvings, including hieroglyphics, Arabic calligraphy, and symbolic reliefs etched into the stone. These buildings would integrate vertical strips of glass windows while preserving a sense of massive solidity and timelessness. Each tower could have its own unique character, but all should follow a cohesive architectural language. To give them a futuristic edge for our time, some towers in a small corner at the closing edge of the CBD could feature digital screens, similar to those in Times Square but facing the Nile, creating a stunning visual experience unlike any other. The riverfront between the CBD towers should include cornices, vibrant promenades with walkways, greeneries, cafes, and public spaces, making the area lively, inviting, and iconic. The bridges that crisscross the CBD should also have indigenous vibe to it. It should be used for both passengers and pedestrians with some seating spaces. And lastly, the industrial district. Egypt has the advantage of a strategic location, a large population, and proximity to two major regional markets, the Arabian Peninsula and Europe. To lift its people out of poverty and reduce dependence of unsafe, labor-intensive, low-paying informal industries found in urban ghettos, Egypt should invest heavily in industrial development, a well-planned industrial infrastructure, and reduced bureaucracy for doing businesses are key. This is the same approach that allowed China, Korea, and Japan to lift millions of its citizens out of poverty. The industrial district should be organized into a grid system, with each factory occupying a designated space and built using indigenous Egyptian architectural design. Airports, due to the issue of noise pollution, should also be located within these industrial zones. The airport should be designed in a form of a giant pylon, reminiscent of the monumental gateways of ancient Egyptian temples. Its architecture should merge the grandeur of antiquity with modern functionality, featuring a minimalistic yet sleek interior inspired by traditional Egyptian aesthetics. This fusion will not only serve as a gateway to the nation, but also as a powerful symbol of cultural continuity and national identity.
So, there you have it guys, my idea of a utopian Cairo. I want this video to inspire the Egyptian youth, especially those of my generation who are now either entering the workforce or still studying as architects, engineers, developers, and hopefully leaders, so that they could build their city according to their glorious indigenous architecture. So guys, help push this video in the algorithm hell. Make sure to like, subscribe, and let's start a conversation down in the comments. And as always, stay curious, stay smart, and thank you very much for watching.